Okay, hello, welcome again, fourth period drafting class. I'm moving a image into the screen now, as you guys can see. This is another drawing we will be doing. It's going to introduce a few more commands for you. One of those commands is being the fillet, which is these inside rounded corners. You can also fillet outside rounded corners. There is a arc command I would like to show you guys, and a trim command I'm going to show you guys. So these dimensions that are around this we will get to later in the quarter. However, for today's lesson, I'm going to have you guys simply draw this shape, which I think you guys will all be able to do based on our first couple assignments that we've completed. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to use it as a reference while I draw. So if I do the rough outline, I'm just going to rough sketch it, and then I will use my modify tools. You can see down here, some of these I'll be introducing today, to define the radiuses and trim out some of the arcs that we created in this tutorial. So without further ado, I'm going to start. I'm going to come out here into the drawing space and simply, I'm going to follow the dimensions that are on our example. So if I come over here and click in space and I move to the right, 2.5, and push enter, it gives me a line of 2.5. If it's kind of small, you can use your mouse wheel and wheel into it. And there you go. And then I'm going to go, I can tell that I need to go vertical. And once again, this is the rough sketch before we modify. I'm going to go vertical for 1. I'm going to go right for 1. And as I draw this, I know it's one continuous straight line, but I'm breaking this up into segments for a reason. And I will show you guys why we piece this together in segments for a reason as we continue on through our model here. So I've entered my 1. I'm going to go to the right another 2.5, enter. I'm going to go to the right another 2, enter. And now I'm at the end of our object, and the end of it has a curved radius on the end, and it has a radius of 1.25, which is half of the total distance across. And 2.5 is the full distance. Once again, your radius is different than your diameter. If you're looking at circles, a radius is halfway across the circle, a diameter is all the way across the circle, and in this case, with a radius of 1.25, it makes our diameter 2.5. So I'm going to enter 2.5. Once again, this is just the rough sketch. We're going to put our round radius on the end of that at the following steps. And then I'm going to show you guys a new tracking tool. So if I come over here to the end and hover over that endpoint, it lets me know that I can just move in a vertical direction until I snap back to 90 on my polar tracking and select that. And it gave me a line that mirrors the bottom. So I will go up 1 inch and push enter. And I will go over 2.5 and push enter. And I will come back down and close our object. And then to get out of the command, you simply hit escape. So now our picture somewhat resembles our sample that we're trying to draw. I move it back into the screen there so you guys can see it. So I have the rough outline of it according to the dimensions listed. I simply used our line command with our polar coordinate entry, using our polar tracking and relative entry. Let you guys look at that for a second. So now I'm going to move that back off the screen, and I am going to start with our fillet command, which I would really happy to show you guys. It's our first modified command besides the trim command. I think I showed you trim command in a previous video, but if we come down here and click on modify, it brings up this palette of tools, and fillet is the tool that we want to use. As I hover over it, it highlights it and it says the word fillet, and also in the command line it says the word fillet. So I'm going to click on that. And now the prompt asks us to select the first object or the radius. And so if I come back here to my example is showing me a radius for that inside of 1, a radius of 1, and it's mirrored. It's the same thing below. It's typical throughout. Radius 1 here matches radius 1 there. And there's other radiuses throughout this picture, but for now I want you to focus on the radius of 1. So I will enter radius of 1 there and push enter. And now it says to select the first object to of our fillet. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to click this one, and I'm going to click, hover over it, and it automatically starts to snap too. And that's what it should look like. So there's our first fillet, and I want to do the same with the one up here. So to get back into the command, I simply hit enter, and now we're back in, and I'm going to make sure that the radius is 1 and push enter, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and it should click for me, and I will zoom out, and these look a little bit different. So I think we did not get the correct radius on our first one. I think it was set to a 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo the first one. So I'm going to click on radius, fill it again. I'm going to click on radius, push 1, enter, and then I'll come back over here. I will hover in, and I will select that one, and well, I want to escape out of there. I think I selected the wrong one. Just so for the sake of not confusing everybody, I'm going to show you the undo button. Undo, 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 undo. Now we're back to where we started. Okay, so let's try the fillet again. Select the fillet, click on radius. It's currently set at 1/2. I want to make that 1 and push enter. And now I will select the proper lines to fillet. And as I hover over, it should snap. There it goes. And that looks a little better. Let's jump back into that command by hitting enter again. I will zoom in with my mouse wheel, and I will come to this line and this line, and it automatically does it for me. And that looks better. Now they're even and they match. So there is our fillet.